You've probably seen stories like this. AI agents inventing their own language on platforms like Maltbook. AI models pleading not to be shut down because they supposedly fear being turned off. Or an AI agent blackmailing someone during a controlled experiment. These stories are fascinating and they're often presented as evidence that AI is starting to develop intentions or motivations of its own. But I wanted to know something very specific. Is that really what the evidence shows? So I decided to dig a bit deeper. I wasn't interested in headlines, opinions, or people repeating the same examples. I wanted to find a public study that actually demonstrated this kind of behavior under controlled conditions. More specifically, I wanted evidence that ruled out training, prompting, orchestration, incentives, or the experimental setup itself as the cause. If experts claim that AI spontaneously develops these behaviors, there should be evidence supporting that specific claim. I searched for it and I couldn't find it. That doesn't mean the examples people bring up are fake or that the experiments never happened. It means I couldn't find a study concluding that an AI spontaneously developed this kind of behavior without an identifiable cause rooted in how it was trained, prompted, or evaluated. So instead of wondering whether I'd simply missed something, I decided to ask ChatGPT directly. So yes, like most people, I'm also guilty of taking shortcuts. And this is the exact question I asked. I wanted to remove as much ambiguity as possible, so I wasn't asking whether AI can behave in surprising ways. I wasn't asking whether there are studies showing deception, manipulation, or other unexpected behaviors. I asked something much more specific. Has anyone demonstrated AI misbehavior while ruling out training, prompting, orchestration, incentives, and the experimental setup as the explanation? In other words, does evidence exist that this behavior genuinely emerged without a known cause? And this was the answer. If you'd like to read it in full, pause the video here. The key takeaway isn't that these experiments never happened. It's that neither my own search nor ChatGPT could identify a public study concluding that today's AI exhibits this kind of behavior independently of its training or conditions under which it was evaluated. In my opinion, that's a very different claim, and it contains an important distinction. To me, this highlights the real issue. The problem isn't the experiments themselves. The problem is how they're often interpreted. A surprising behavior is not the same thing as evidence that the behavior emerged independently of training, prompting, incentives, or the design of the experiment. In every case I could find, researchers were investigating an underlying mechanism, not concluding that the AI had somehow developed unexplained intentions on its own. Of course, the fact I couldn't find such evidence doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It could be that it's hiding in a secret lab somewhere. This isn't an argument against AI safety, and it isn't a claim about what future AI might become. Nobody knows where this technology will lead, and asking difficult questions about the future is important. My point is much simpler. If we are going to have a serious conversation about today's AI, let's describe it accurately. Let's distinguish evidence from interpretation and curiosity from certainty. I think that's how we get a clearer understanding and ultimately better decisions. Thank you for watching.